Hey guys, what's going on? Whew. So sorry for any delays that happened. I am here. Had some things I had to talk about beforehand, so I didn't get a chance to get on. But we're here and we're starting this stream up. All right, so I'm gonna give a couple minutes for people to get into the room before I begin. But basically, what we're gonna be talking about is the manga industry, right? How we fit into the manga industry, and how we're planning on scaling. All right, this is company information. This is for people who are planning on buying stock in our company. This is the kind of stuff you need to know as far as how we're going to approach things. All right, so let me see if I can pop this on, test it real quick. Yep, that's working fine. So we're gonna go to the page where it has all the information. We're gonna look at that as well. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Analyzing the U.S. manga industry. All right. So first things first, you guys have any questions for me before we start this? Let me know in the comments below. Share this on Facebook. So if you have your Facebook page, share that there so we can invite your friends so they can talk about this as well. This should be an interesting conversation because we're going to be talking about what it really means to make a difference in this industry. You know? Look at that. See, Hope Matters is like, Mr. Godoy is never late. Yeah, I'm late today. That's funny. That's funny right there. Hey, so first of all, mic check. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me by just saying something in the comment section. If you do, then I'll begin with talking about the industry. All right, we're going to go through a couple of numbers because these numbers are actually pretty important. So first off, for people who have heard about our company, Black Sands Entertainment is raising $500,000 for 10% of our company. It's pretty cool. We're definitely going to be doing this very soon, like within a couple of weeks. And one of the things we need to understand is what is our growth path, right? How do we plan on growing? What is our current status in the industry? And I was looking up a couple of studies out there on manga performances in the United States and what they consider successful manga companies. There's a couple of metrics that I thought was very important. So we're going to go over these metrics online. We're going to look at the actual data that they have accumulated. And we're going to see where Black Sands fits in this. All right. So first thing is... let's share our screen. We're going to share our screen. We're going to look at this article online. So let's pop this. And we're here. So first things we're going to be looking at is analyzing the U.S. manga industry with BookScan 2017. This is a cool study, okay? Because you don't really get that much stats on the manga industry in the United States, right? And we're not really trying to compete with comic books. We're trying to compete with manga. We're trying to go on that new wave out there for manga and anime in the United States. It's been growing like hand over fist for the last 5 years, So the first thing is when they look at manga publishers who are only printing in English, right? Is Viz Media is the biggest by far. They have the biggest stake in this game right now. They're giants. Then you have Cadentia, right? Who does Attack on Titan. You have Yen Press, Seven Seas, Dark Horse, and Vertical. Now, it's funny that Dark Horse is actually number 5 in this list because Dark Horse is known for comic books. But they've pivoted a bit on the content that they're releasing and started really focusing on seinen type mangas. Stuff like Berserk. Berserk is one of their flagships, So you could tell the more gritty stories, the more gritty stories made for adults, that's the ones that you're going to see from Dark Horse, and it's pretty cool. Viz Media did 41 million by themselves for just books. All right, this is only books. This is not licensing for toys. This is not licensing for merchandise, for anything else. This is not for the distribution of the DVDs. This is not distribution for Blu-ray or actually streaming. None of that stuff. This is only for their book sales. They've hit $41 million. So the smaller competitors, 13 million. And then Dark Horse got $3.8 million sold. So they're not pushing that much content out there, even though they are trying to invade that space. You know, so that's them, right? Now, what we need to see, right, when we're looking at these numbers, what we need to see is what is actually selling, right? What the heck is actually selling? What do they consider success in the manga industry? And you know, how we fit in that space. So, you know, Viz Media is the first one. We're not going to really talk about them because they're kind of like bloated as far as like what they've dominated on. But let's talk about the other ones, right? So let's go to the first one, Kadensha. This is Attack on Titans, people, right? So Kadensha has 8 books that sell over 10,000 copies. All right. So what they consider a metric of success is basically selling at least 10,000 copies on a single volume of a book. All right. So now volume is usually a couple of chapters or a couple of issues combined together into one volume, right? And they have 8 titles that have sold over 10,000 books. However, and this is very important, they also have 895 different books listed. And he said, and about 917,000 sales for a total of $13 million. So think about how big their catalog is to have 895 different titles in their catalog. That's what they have. That's what they sell in the United States. Now, when you look at that, you have to see the way that these companies make successful, you know, have a success is actually getting multiple creators under them. So even though they only have 8 books, they only have 8 books that actually have broken what they consider the success metric, which is 10,000 copies sold. It doesn't matter when they have 895 different titles. You understand? So what they're doing is, sure, they're promoting the ones that really bring the bet in, you know, like Attack on Titan, but at the end of the day, they're also banking on the little guys as well, right? And those guys make their money off of selling through Kadensha and everything else. And everybody's basically working together in the same system. Now, how does that work with Black Sands? Well, first off, what we're going to have to do is, obviously, Black Sands, The Seven Kingdoms is one of the top performing black mangas in probably United States history. It just is, you know. We've sold 25,000 copies of Black Sands, all right? It is crazy how successful Black Sands has been in the United States, and we don't even go after the anime fans. We really go after the black community's audience. So we have the Breadwinner comic book, right? The Breadwinner comic book series. Which one's that one? Boom. The thing that we need to work on is the amount of titles that we have. And the only way we can do that is by basically optioning and securing a whole bunch of black creatives who are already making comic books and bringing them into our platform and taking them away from everybody else. That is the way that we succeed, okay? Because we can't do it just by ourselves. If we did it just by ourselves, we'd only have a fraction of that total sales number of $13 million. You see, we need to get all that 13 million. In order to get that, we need to have a lot more titles. You understand? So that's that right there. I'm going to go and look at the other ones as well, but I wanted to first say that part and break that down a bit so that people understand what we're talking about when it comes to scaling, right? Sure, you could have an amazing comic book and that could be wildly successful, but at the end of the day, if you want your company to make money, you have to have a hell of a lot more titles than what you're capable of making yourself. You got me? Now let's go back to the comments so I can see what you guys are talking about. All right. So I'm here in the room and I'm just answering some questions real quick. What do you think about that information that you just saw? You just saw some information about how the industry works. You saw some success metrics. For instance, if a book has sold over 10,000 copies, they consider that a successful manga, right? Black Sands has blown that through the roof. So that's way, He said Black Sands is dominating. It's like the biggest kept secret that's out there right now in the industry. You know, but we need more titles, which means that our first priority after we fund the company through our pre-seed round is to get as many creators as possible on our platform. You know, we're trying to get them all on there, and we have to be exclusive. We can't let them also be on Comixology, also be on Webtoons, also be on Lezen, also be on Kindle. We can't do any of that. We have to have exclusive contracts with these creators in order to get them on our platform so we could be the sole distributor of them. Right? Now, obviously, we got to make some pretty cool deals. We obviously got to give people good benefits, but it's a part of the game. We got to grow. And you can't grow simply by having one great book. You saw the numbers. One great book only amounts to maybe 1/10 of the potential of the company, compared to the other 90% is the 900 plus titles that they have. Okay, so Hope Batters says, so are these creators known or can they be new creators? So I don't necessarily care if they're known or not, and I don't care if they're new or not. What I do care about is if they have quality or not. The thing that's going to push our company through is the quality factor. We're going to have some of the highest quality black productions ever. And in order to be a part of that, you have to have really high quality stuff. Usually, the barrier to quality is money. People just don't spend enough money when they make their books. They try to make a book for like $2,000. And at the end of the day, the art suffers dramatically. The text suffers dramatically because it wasn't edited or something like that. So what we have to do is make sure the quality is up. And people that have already put out quality books, they're going to be the first ones we're going after. People who I see at comic book conventions, anime conventions, selling their books, those are the ones I'm going after first. You know, people that I think are huge and have their own massive catalog, I'm going to try to get them in on exclusive deals, give them a much better deal in order to get them in. But I'm going to try to get them on there as well. So we're going to try to get as much talent as possible initially. Eventually, later on, once we have more established catalog, we'll start looking more toward brand new creatives, right, that just started off. We'll give them an opportunity. No matter what, though, because this is basically a journey for the black community, we will be doing tutorials. We will be training people. We will have our own private forum where people can find talent and solicit their talent to other people. There'll be a place for everybody to figure out how to learn this industry and get into it themselves. We're going to facilitate that. We're not going to just leave you guys out there to be like, oh, I don't know, I guess you guys got to do it yourself. No, I'm known for that too. You actually can look on this YouTube channel and find my course, the 90-day challenge. You know, free classes that I gave to everybody, really long classes, you know, and, you know, that's just the way it is. Just go to our store. So, not nice, just go to blacksandsentertainment.com and sign up for our mailing list. Once you do that, you'll get all our emails, and anytime you reply to those emails, you get me. All right, so Shaq B has a really good question. Do we have experience in writing these contracts? What research have we done on them? All right. So first off, I have a couple of those contracts in my hands. So a lot of people have tried to option me, right? So I actually have a whole bunch of drafts of contracts done by the major companies. So I know exactly what the heck they ask for, what limitations they get and everything else. I know what they want. I've never done a deal like that with them, but I've seen the actual deal. So I know exactly what terms and everything else they've used. Furthermore, Turnus, our head of studio, he's done a lot of option agreements for animations. You know, he's done them himself. He has lots of option agreements that we can go through to offer people different things in order to acquire them. So yeah, we got that down pat. As far as legal, on the legal side, we got that down pat. Now let's see. What other questions do I have? Uh, okay, bro. Say, bro, I'm an artist and I write. I've been following you for a while. I love your work and I have titles and could use your help also. So basically, what I would say is just simply email me one day. You can email me through Instagram. You can email me through the emails that I send out, and be quick with it. Just go and throw some pages up, right? Throw the cover and throw some pages up. The best way to catch me, I don't care about the story. I care about quality. So once I see that there's good quality, I'll look further into it. But if I can't get past the vain part of the assessment, which is just the aesthetics, right? Then I won't go any further. You know, and people say, "Oh, you should really look at the story," but I tell people I'm looking at what customers will look at. And one thing about a customer is they get pulled in immediately from an amazing cover, and they get pulled in immediately from the style of the art. If those two things are correct, then they'll give the story a chance, right? And the story will keep them. So the art won't keep them. The art won't keep them at all, but it gets them to make the initial purchase. Keeping them is the story, but they'll never get to the story if they can't get past the art. It's kind of like when you're dating. You don't go and approach ugly people. You go and approach people you feel are attractive. And if their attitude's bad, then you probably won't mess with them anymore. But the initial engagement is based on your attractiveness, whether you're attracted to it or not, from a purely vain reason. All right, so Shaq B says perfect. That's what we need. Are we acquiring the artist after the public investment period, or is there a specific date this will happen? The second we're done with our investment round, we're going to start leveraging our success during this investment round and our definitive launch date in order to start getting people optioned. All right, people will know at this date we're launching. Right? No, first of all, the black community is extremely, this is really important. The black community is extremely scared of people hustling them, mostly because people love hustling the black community, right? Even black people love hustling people in the black community. So they don't like signing up for anything that isn't tangible, that isn't real, that isn't going to happen, right? So when you successfully raise $500,000, when you say, hey, this is going to be the launch date for this thing, they've seen your other successes, they see that you're going to do it no matter if they sign up or not, right? Then they're going to feel like they can do that deal with you. But they can't do that deal with you if you just have an idea. So you got to show massive success before you even approach them, you know? That's just our community. We have to have a lot of evidence before we take a leap and join somebody else's army. And make no mistake, that's what we're building, an army. We're going to try to invade this industry and take as much space as possible before they ever know what happens. Now, as far as anything else, do you guys have any questions for me? I can't answer every question yet. I'm not done with my SEC filing, right? But I can answer some questions, maybe about production, maybe about release schedules. But Black Sands, the first Pharaoh, that is actually getting released tonight. So I'm releasing the first Pharaoh, the digital version, on Patreon tonight. That's pretty cool. Let me show you that. I actually could show you a little bit. So let's go and show you that thing. Let's see. Here we go. Boom. So yeah, this is the first Pharaoh. It's a pretty dope series. You know, we just finished it. It's a really long manga, you know, and it's about Ra. You say there's not many stories you see where it's about Ra, you know. This one right here is about him only when he was younger. All right, we did a completely different look and feel of the characters, different team. We wanted to be so different that people would not just automatically assume it's another issue of Black Sands to Seven Kingdoms, right? It had to be completely different. So that's what we did. It's just a stylistic choice. I think it went very well though, very manga-ish. Now, this issue is called the Nephilim, right? So I'll let you guess on what this is about, right? But most of the action in this issue takes place in Canaan, all right? So we're in Canaan. We're dealing with that. Ra is about, I'd say, 35 years old, and they're extremely young. They're like 16. Nuit and Geb, you know. They're in Canaan. This is the first time they've been outside of the Rift. If you don't know about the Rift, read Sons of Nibiru. If you never had a chance to read Sons of Nibiru, know that the Rift is basically a place where all the gods were created, right? So they're in Canaan now. She's chilling, but Ra is one of those guys that even though he's cool with them, he can at any point snap. And what you see here is Ra, because he got tapped in the shoulder, he took it as an attack and, and instantly leveled Geb. And then it goes into like why he's this way, why he's been trained mercilessly. Look at this dude, man. Y'all never seen Ra like this. Mostly because we focus on the kids in Black Sands, so we don't actually see who Ra really is. But in this story, you're going to see a lot more evidence on emphasis on him. Additionally, you're going to see characters like the Nephilim, which are giants in Canaan, you know. And we're going to give you a little backstory about Noon as well. So Noon is much older than he was in Sons of Nibiru. It's a very different scenario from what it was before, you know. But if you're somebody who absolutely loved the sci-fi elements of Black Sands, you're gonna love this, right? And this is a brutal issue too, so don't think that this is like little kid stuff, man. There's gonna be some serious violence in this one. It's not intended for little 8-year-olds and stuff like that. This should be teenagers and above, right? Still no language, so you don't have to worry about any language issues. But some people will get dismembered. It's just the way it is, you know. So that is the first Pharaoh, you know. It's pretty dope. I love it. I can't wait for it to have the physical release. But yeah. All right, so Gambit says, hey, how much longer do we have to invest? Well, we haven't started yet, so just save money, all right? Save your money. People are really going to want that $1,000 tier. There's a $1,000 tier who gets an extra perk. And I'll explain the perk later on at a later date when I tell you, when I have the option to be able to just show stuff, right? But with that being said, basically, save up your money, all right? In the next 2 weeks, I think in about 2 weeks, we're going to be able to actually officially launch the campaign. When we launch the campaign, you're just going to put your money in at first. I don't think you'll pay anything yet because we're not going to launch a campaign right before Christmas. That's kind of crazy, right? But it will be available for you guys to put your initial funds in, right? Or your initial claims of how much you're going to do and hold your spot, right? And then right after New Year's, right, at the beginning of the year, when everybody's recovered from freaking Christmas and then they done recovered with their first check after the New Year and stuff like that, that's when we're going to start raising our capital, right? Because everybody's going to be buying gifts and everything else, and it's just never a wise idea to start a crowdfunding campaign during Christmas. It's just a bad idea. But we're still going to allow you guys into the campaign early. So you can go in there. You can also get your friends in there. You can do all that stuff and just do what you got to do, man. Grab your piece. This is your piece. Yeah, so Shaq B, that's completely, I have no clue. You're going to have to go, they're probably going to explain how you can do it when you actually try to sign up for it, right? They usually try to make it not too crazy, right, as far as how how you invest. So it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard at all. With that being said, I don't know if you can do multiple investments. I don't know if you can increase your raise. I have no clue. I think you can increase it. Yeah, I think you can increase it. I think that's the only thing you could do is increase it. So I have no clue though. Yep, so that's it. That's it. That's all I got for you guys. If you have any questions, this is the last chance to ask them. If not, then I'm going to call it a night. I'd say about 2 weeks. Hustle hand, about 2 weeks. We're almost done with all our filings. So, 2 weeks. All right, good night, guys.